The 2009 NBA draft was one that attracted a lot of attention for basketball fans, in large part because of one player. I mean, yeah, you had Blake Griffin, the high-flying forward out of Oklahoma, and consensus #1 overall pick. You also had Hasheem Thabeet, a towering presence at the center spot that could lock down the paint for years to come. James Harden, a crafty lefty guard out of Arizona State, and Tyreke Evans, one of the first freshman phenoms to come out of a John Calipari coached college team in the modern NBA. But the real draw was where Steph Curry would be selected, a skinny 6'3" point guard that looked like your average everyday person compared to the elite NBA athletes he would soon be playing against, but had managed to capture the attention of the entire country with his March Madness heroics and daring style of play at Davidson. But even though we now know that Curry has become arguably the greatest shooter of all time and has a ton of other accolades to his name, he wasn't seen as quite that much of a sure thing at the time of the draft. Not only were there 6 players selected ahead of him, including every name I mentioned previously, but also a point guard selected right before him with the 6th pick. Well, actually, a point guard was selected with both the 5th and 6th picks that year, and both of them were selected by the same team, the Minnesota Timberwolves. But we can get into the numerous mistakes made by then Timberwolves president of basketball operations David Kahn another time. Today, I want to talk about the point guard selected directly ahead of Steph Curry, a guy that was presumably a better player than him at the high school and college levels, but barely lasted 3 seasons in the league, Johnny Flynn. By pretty much any standard, Flynn had an outstanding high school career for Niagara Falls High School in New York. He won a state championship as a sophomore, was a consensus top 25 recruit, and McDonald's All-American as a senior, a season in which he put up crazy numbers on his way to being named New York State Mr. Basketball and playing for the 2007 USA Junior National Team. As you would expect, he had a number of high-profile schools recruiting him, and he chose to stay in-state and attend Syracuse University to play under head coach Jim Boeheim. He immediately established himself as a scoring force as a freshman, breaking Carmelo Anthony's previous single-game freshman scoring record with multiple 28-point outings on his way to being named the Big East Rookie of the Year. After an even better sophomore year in which he improved a number of his per-game averages, Flynn decided to declare for the NBA draft, and as I said earlier, was selected 6th overall by the Minnesota Timberwolves. At this point, it would stand to reason that between the two of them, Flynn would be on track to have a bigger impact at the NBA level than Curry. He was higher ranked coming out of high school, played at a higher level of competition in college, and was selected earlier in the same draft. But as we all know, that isn't how it worked out at all. Flynn actually had a great season as a 20-year-old rookie for Minnesota, starting 81 games and leading the team in assists while being 3rd in scoring and being named to the all-rookie second team. To be fair, that Timberwolves team was objectively awful, and there wasn't a ton of competition for minutes at the guard spots, but it was still a promising first season for Flynn. The problem was that's about as good as it got for him as far as his NBA career is concerned. That summer in 2010, he underwent surgery for a hip injury and was a shell of his former self after that. He only appeared in 53 games the following season and saw a drastic dip in his per-game averages as well. He was traded to the Rockets on draft night in 2011 and went on to appear in just 11 games with the team before being traded to Portland mid-season and finishing his official NBA career by appearing in 18 games with the Blazers. He did sign with the Pistons in October of 2012, but was waived later the same month. From there, he took his talents to the Australian National Basketball League and had a pretty good impact, even being named an All-Star as an injury replacement. But unfortunately for him, that was just about the last bit of basketball success he experienced at any level. He had some summer league stints in 2013 and played in the Chinese Basketball Association for about a month in the same year, but was last seen playing just 2 games with an Italian team in the 2014-15 season before leaving due to injury. And now, well, it's pretty hard to find any information on where he is or what he's doing. Apart from a few articles about his days in the NBL or Summer League, he's basically only known as the guy selected just ahead of Steph Curry. In the end, his career is simply a blip on the radar compared to the Davidson Star's impact on the NBA. Curry has 5 individual scoring seasons that far outpaced the scoring numbers of Flynn's entire 163-game NBA career. Not only that, but if you only took the 27 games Curry played in the months of November and December of his 2015-16 MVP season, He made more threes in just those 2 months than Flynn did in his entire career. Now obviously there are many things that can make or break an NBA career, and a fair amount of them are outside of a player's control. The situation Flynn found himself in Minnesota wasn't a great one, and the hip surgery of 2010 is clearly the primary thing that sapped him of his NBA-level quickness and speed with the ball, his main tool in being such an effective scorer and playmaker as a rookie. Curry had his fair share of ankle issues early in his career, and obviously has been able to recover in a big way. But had the situations been reversed, this video might be very, very different. But even with that said, it's pretty clear that the Timberwolves made a huge mistake by not only selecting players other than Curry with their 2 picks immediately before he was chosen at number 7 overall, but by choosing 2 players at the exact same position with those picks. Fortunately for the point guard the team drafted with the 5th pick, Ricky Rubio, he has at least had a serviceable NBA career that has sheltered him from some of the criticism. But for Flynn, he will always be known as the point guard selected ahead of a guy that, as of this video, is a 2-time MVP and a 3-time NBA champion, while Flynn himself didn't even finish out his rookie contract in the league. And that is going to be the end of today's Feature Friday video. This one obviously a bit shorter than normal, but I hope you enjoyed it all the same. If you missed any of my previous Monday, Wednesday, Friday videos, then be sure to check out the boxes on screen. My name is Tucker, this is Sporting Logically. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time.